Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. Today I am talking about this one. Look at this shiny cover. Ooh, it's fancy. This is a movie called Duel, which I'm going to be talking about. We will talk about cast, production, critical reception, and some other stuff about this movie. So I hope you'll stick around to the end. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed recently. I am now at 290 subscribers, so I'm quickly approaching 300, so I'll have to think of something special to do for 300 subscribers. But thank you to everybody who has decided to follow along and comment and like and all that stuff. It's awesome. You can follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. And let's get to this movie. So Duel is a made-for-TV thriller action movie from 1971. It was directed by, and I think you can see the sticker here, it says Steven Spielberg's directorial debut. So this was, let's see, 4 years before Jaws. And this was Steven Spielberg's first kind of official movie, although it was a made-for-TV movie. But he would soon obviously find bigger success with Jaws in 1975 and Close Encounters in 1978 and E.T. in 1982 and on and on and on it goes. But this was his humble beginnings, so kind of cool to go back and check out his early work. So this movie stars Dennis Weaver, who was also in the film Touch of Evil, and he was in a lot of TV appearances. And basically, there are a few other actors scattered throughout this film in very, very tiny roles, but the other main star of the film is the truck itself. I don't know if there's a good picture of the truck. Not really. There's a picture on the back. It's an old, I guess it would be a 60s transport truck. Very, very old looking. So that's more or less the cast for this film. I mean, he talks to his wife briefly on the phone, and there's like a gas station attendant who has like a snake farm. But for the most part, it's Dennis Weaver in his red car and this bad boy chasing him along the highway. So the synopsis for this film is David Mann, played by Dennis Weaver, a mild-mannered electronics salesman, is driving cross-country on a two-lane highway when he encounters an old oil tanker driven by an unseen driver who seems to enjoy annoying him with dangerous antics on the road. Unable to escape the demonic big rig, David finds himself in a dangerous game of cat and mouse with the monstrous truck. When the pursuit escalates to deadly levels, David must summon his inner warrior and turn the tables on his tormentor. So Dennis Weaver plays this very mild-mannered, very likable character. He's just trying to get to a meeting. He's trying to drive across country, and this guy, some guy, and this or girl, they don't. I guess they show the person's hands, so it's like man hands, but you don't see the driver at all. There's a scene where Dennis stops at a like a cafe, a road stop cafe, and the truck is in the parking lot. But the restaurant's filled with all these different guys, like these tough looking dudes, and you're never really sure like which one is the driver. And so it's left very ambiguous with it, which I think is kind of cool, and it was definitely on purpose, and I think I will talk about this in my notes, but it was to kind of add that like unknown, much like Jaws, really, which you could say, this was the sort of a precursor to Jaws. Instead of a shark, it was a truck. But yeah, the truck is the main villain in this movie. You don't see the driver. So. So produced by Universal Television, Duel originally aired as part of the ABC Movie of the Week series on November 13th, 1971. I would have been like a year and a half old when this movie aired, so did not see this when it was originally broadcast. It later received an international theatrical release in an extended version featuring scenes shot after the film's original TV broadcast. So my understanding is this movie did so well on TV that the producers went to Steven Spielberg and said, shoot a bunch of extra scenes and we can make it longer, like a full-length feature film, because I think And I could be wrong, but I think like made for TV movie was like an hour and change, and then they added in all kinds of commercials to make it run like an hour and a half. So for a theatrical release, they wanted it to run a little longer, so hence the theatrical cut. I don't know if this is the yeah, this is an hour and 30 minutes, so I guess this is the theatrical cut. Richard Matheson adapted the script from his own short story, which was originally published in the April 1971 issue of Playboy magazine. Matheson got the inspiration for the story when he was tailgated by a trucker while he was on his way home from a golfing match. So I guess sort of loosely based on a true story. Spielberg insisted on shooting outside, contrary to the request of the unit production manager, Wallace Worsley, who I think there's a documentary on here. I think he said that person went on to work with him, like on E.T. and some other stuff. But this Wallace Worsley guy was like, nah, you can't shoot this whole movie outside. Like, we're going to have to do some of it on this stage. And he didn't think it could be like shot efficiently on the budget that they were given, which I'm not sure what the budget was, but it wasn't a lot for a made-for-TV movie. So as a compromise, Wallace Worsley allowed Spielberg to start the filming on location for the first 3 days to see if it could really be done on an efficient level. To help with plotting, he made an overhead map to help plot camera shots out. And that was actually really cool, and I'm really glad I watched the making of Duel, because normally you would use storyboards, which Spielberg does say in this, like, in subsequent movies, I storyboarded the film. But for this one, it was really cool, and they actually showed a picture of it. It's like an overhead map of the road, like swerving highway. And then on this like drawing, he added in like what part of the road the scenes would happen. Like the car goes off the road here, and they go to the cafe here, and they go. And so Spielberg used that map to kind of like plan out his shooting schedule. So I thought that was really cool, and it definitely appealed to me on an artistic level. I could definitely see, like, if I did a movie ever, that would be probably something I would do, because it just seemed really cool. And like the drawing was really cool, like kind of a architectural style drawing, like had the buildings and the landscape and stuff like that. So really, really cool and different. Filming was completed in 13 days, 3 days longer than the movie was scheduled to shoot for. And that only left 10 days turnaround to edit the movie before it was broadcast on TV. So the other thing Spielberg talks about in here is like TV, which was cool because I never heard him talk about that, but he was talking about his early days of doing, before he became a big filmmaker, was his dream. He got started out on TV, which he really didn't want to do, but he soon learned that if he wanted to put food on the table, in the meantime, he was going to have to do some TV stuff. And so he was talking about like how when you made a TV show, you had like, I think 5 days to like write, produce, like film and edit before it went on to TV. So this movie had the 10 days shooting schedule, and then I guess 10 days to edit and get it for TV. So, or no, I guess a little bit longer than that, 13 days, but they went over by 3 days shooting. So they only had 10 days to edit it before it had to be broadcast. So I can imagine the time crunch would have been really intense for these productions. Richard Matheson's script made it clear that the truck driver would be unseen aside from a few shots of his arm and boots that were necessary to the plot. Specifically, the driver's arms were shown twice, motioning man like ahead, like on the highway, like, go around me, go around me. And his snakeskin boots were shown at the gas station near the beginning of the film, which then boots make a reappearance at the cafe, which is why our main character, Dennis Weaver, is like seeing the boots, and it's like all these guys like at the like sitting in line at a counter, like at a diner, and like 2 or 3 of the guys are wearing like cowboy boots. So he's starting to like wonder, is that the guy? The trucker's motives are never revealed. In a DVD documentary feature, Spielberg observes that fear of the unknown is perhaps the greatest fear of all, and Duel plays heavily into that fear. the effect of not seeing the driver makes the real antagonist of the film the truck itself, which is what I said a few minutes ago. I got a little ahead of myself there. Spielberg did not care what kind of car was used in the film as long as it was red, because of the scenery, which was, like he said, mostly browns and kind of drab looking. So he wanted something that kind of popped out. So he had a red, I don't remember what kind of car it was. I think it was a Valiant. So that was the car that they used in the film. I used to be, for some reason, when I was a kid, I knew all the names of cars in the 70s. So when I saw it, I was like, what kind of car is that? And I was trying to guess before, and then I did see Valiant on the side of the car. I'm pretty sure it was a Valiant. But it's a cool looking car. So yeah, they used that red car to kind of like contrast against the desert highway. For each shot, several people were tasked to make the truck successively uglier, adding oil, grease, fake dead insects, and other blemishes. So apparently, every day before they were going to start shooting, they would go at the truck with, I think they said like mops or something covered in like grease and just nastiness to make the truck look really scary, which it does. It kind of, if you've ever seen the movie Jeepers Creepers, I think Jeepers Creepers definitely was inspired by this, because that truck in that movie also had that kind of feel to it. But yeah, the truck was actually really scary looking. Duel was initially shown on American television as an installment of the ABC movie of the week. It was the 18th highest rated television movie of that year. So yeah, so that was, but it was, this is a different time. We don't have these, ABC, NBC, CBS all fighting for ratings as much as like back then. That was all there was. There was no streaming, and like, the movies that went to the cinema were much less than they are now. So this made-for-TV movie market was like very competitive back then. And so this one did quite well. The critical reception for this movie, Duel received many positive reviews and is considered by some to be the greatest television movie ever made. On the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, Duel currently holds a rating of 89%. Bravo Television included it at number 67 in the 100 scariest movie moments of all time. My thoughts on this film, really cool. I would say it drags at times, maybe. I would give this a 4 out of 5 easily. Maybe a 4.25 out of 5. It's a solid little movie. It's tense. For me, like this was the second time I watched this now. I felt like it took a while to get going, which is weird because the opening shot of the movie is a car backing out of a driveway from the perspective of the car. So it's always in motion, this movie, basically. There's only a few little pit stops, but it's a very action-packed movie. Like I said, the truck is very scary looking. Dennis Weaver is so believable in this role as like this mild-mannered kind of business guy. He wants to get to where he's going, and this truck is just all of a sudden giving him grief, and he doesn't know why, and he passes the truck, and then the truck passes him, like aggressively. There's a part where the trucker motions him forward, and Dennis Weaver starts to come out around the truck and almost collides into an oncoming car. So this truck driver is a real jerk, and he's just messing with poor Dennis Weaver. But yeah, it's action-packed, it's thrilling. It really doesn't let up much, except, like I said, for that scene on the cafe. There's a scene with a school bus with a bunch of kids, which is pretty tense, but it's still, the pacing is very action-packed, and it never lets up. I really can't say much else about this movie. It's just this really solid little made-for-TV movie. Probably would have been cool to see this on the big screen with the added scenes, which are in this version, obviously. But I think when I was watching it, I thought it doesn't, in a lot of ways, it doesn't feel like a made-for-TV movie, but it definitely gives you those vibes of like Road Warrior, Maximum Overdrive. I'm trying to think of other movies with like killer trucks in it, but it's got those kind of feel. Especially, I did feel like that Road Warrior, Mad Max kind of vibe, just because it's out on this little 2-lane highway, and it's just like countryside everywhere. And so, if you like that kind of thing, you'll like this. I think I'm slowly learning that I like car car chase kind of action movies. Italian Job, Road Warrior, Mad Max is one of my favorites. Um, Vanishing Point, like all those movies I love. Even the Bullet movie, which has that crazy car chase in it. But yeah, this is a cool little movie. If you can find this out there in the wild, I would highly recommend it. There's little Dennis Weaver there. He's just being well, he looks concerned there. He's like, why is this guy doing this to me? Which is just also keeps the pacing going, because you're just like, why is this truck driver doing this? Like, and there's no motive. It's just like the shark. It's like, why is this shark? Well, I mean, I guess the shark wants blood. Maybe this guy does too. I don't know, but it's that unknown, right? It's like, why is it doing this? This edition is a collector's edition from, let's see if I can find a year on it, 2004 from Universal Studios. Runtime is 1 hour 30 minutes. Spot on. This is, it says full frame, I guess. I didn't realize that. It's rated PG. It's rated 14 in Canada. It's got this cool lenticular cover, which I'm digging. The special features are Steven Spielberg on making Duel, Steven Spielberg on the small screen, Richard Matheson, the writing of Duel, photography gallery, trailer, production notes, cast, and filmmaker bios. I did watch the making of Duel, which was really good. A very extensive interview with Spielberg. Steven Spielberg talking about the small screen, and they're talking about like a lot of his early work on TV, like Marcus Welby and a lot of those shows, which I remember from when I was a kid. Almost kind of cool to go back and watch some of those ones. And there was a cool photograph gallery which has stills from the movie, but it also has movie posters from around the world, which was cool. So this has a nice little slippity dippity, which is, like I said, lenticular. Cool cover art. Fear is the driving force is the tagline. It does have these annoying little tabs on the side. This is a look at the inside. So you got the disc, and then you've got this here, now available for the first time on DVD. If you didn't know, because you just bought it on DVD. It's confusing. And then on the back is an ad for a movie I've also never seen, Sugarland Express with Goldie Hawn, directed by Steven Spielberg, which I believe is also a car movie. It looks that way. So yeah, that would be one that I'll probably try to look for while I'm out and about. But yeah, this is a cool movie, cool edition for a DVD that's almost 20, just shy of 20 years old. The picture looked good. The extra features were cool. You can currently watch this for free on the Movie Land app on your smart TV. You can also rent it on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple TV. So check it out if you want to. I only ever seen this once in my 3 years of thrifting, so I don't think it's a common DVD to find, but if you do find it, snag this one because you won't be disappointed, especially if you like thrillers with car chases and things like that. That's my thoughts on Steven Spielberg's 1971 made-for-TV film Duel. Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? Maybe you saw this when it originally aired. I don't know. Like I said, I was only 1.5, so I was definitely not watching this. Oh, it also has the cool, like a raised lettering here, which is like that steel on the steps of like a truck, which is kind of cool. It's pretty nice. Actually, a really nice edition. I was pretty happy to find this. I think I only paid about $5 for it as well. So, cool movie. But yeah, did you see this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave your comments below. Consider giving me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content or this review. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video, where I'm doing my best, but YouTube's kind of becoming my thing. Instagram less and less these days, but yeah, I'd be curious to know what you think of this movie. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing if you have recently. Welcome to all my new followers. And until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves. Tell your loved ones you love them. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.